What's up, guys? Jessa here, and I just want to warn everybody that this video is going to talk about death and some sad things, and I've been putting off recording it because it's pretty hard to talk about, and so I just want to warn you that if you're not prepared for that, maybe skip this video and come back to another one. So, as you guys know, we had two little baby bucklings, and they were from Coco. They were our first babies born on the farm with Melissa and I, and they were pretty healthy, doing really well. Well, we started to notice that Coco wasn't nursing them like she should have been. Now, the black and white one, Ninja, that we call, he was doing fine. He was springing around, bouncing around, and he was eating grass, eating with the adults, and just overall pretty good. And the brown one, that we call Brownie, he was kind of slowing down. And so all weekend we spent, kind of nursing him. We brought him inside, gave him B vitamins, molasses, the Nutri-Drench, and he was really starting to perk up. He was doing really well, and so we were pretty excited and chalking that up as a success. And so we decided to go ahead and turn him out with the goats. He was doing good enough that we felt pretty comfortable doing that. And then we left to run some errands on Monday, and when we got back, we couldn't find him. And they can get in and out of the cattle panels because they're so small, and usually they stay, unfortunately, down by my orchard and on the other side of the hill. So my property sits on a hill, and the goats and chickens are kind of on this side, and then the dogs are on the other side, except for Belle and Luna, a little bit that you see running around a lot. And so we couldn't find him, and my immediate thought was that somehow he got into the road. And so I was looking over by the road, and then I hear Melissa yell, and I go running down there, and she's by the dog pen, just sobbing. And I look in there and see the baby goat had been killed by the dogs. So it's just really terrible. And that happened, and I couldn't understand why he was down there, because he's never been down there. There's no reason for the goats to be down there. And that was just my biggest question, was why would he be down here? And my best guess was that he saw the dogs and thought they were goats or something. And even for him to get in there, there's only really one spot that he could get in, and that was right by the door. There's a little bit of a gap there, and it's just so weird because he would have had to work to even get in there. And unfortunately, it was pretty obvious which dog was the ringleader, and that was Yoshi. He had blood all over his face, and I don't really talk about it a lot because no one's proud of having a questionable dog on their property, but he's killed other animals before. They got loose, and he killed some of my rabbits and was caught literally in the act. He'd got loose and killed a guinea before. He'd actually killed a kitten before. So we had talked about rehoming him before, and I've always kind of been an advocate for keeping your animals, keeping your pets, because they were there first before you decided to do this farming thing, if that's the case. And Melissa brought him down when she moved in with me, along with her other husky, Ponyo. And we just knew that, they're not really farm dogs, but I've never asked her to get rid of them. IBotta. And when he killed the rabbits, Melissa talked about getting rid of him. And I like I said no. Then when he killed the guinea, we talked about putting him down. And again, I said, no, we're not like that. We're not that kind of family that does that. But when he killed the baby goat, that was too much. And being a larger animal like that, we knew that was really dangerous. And while he was a tiny baby goat, that could have been a kid, and Yoshi has lunged at me before, kind of nipped at me, and I write it off. I've been around dogs a lot my whole life, and I think I have a pretty high tolerance for things like that, positive or negative. And so when this happened, we decided to go ahead and put Yoshi down so that we weren't risking anybody or anybody else on the farm with his presence. And it's not a decision that I took lightly, and it was just really, really difficult to lose 2 animals in one day. And you can't help but blame yourself. You just immediately think about all the things you could have done, that you could have done differently, that you should have done. And it just sucks. There's no other way to put it. It just really sucks. And trying to help Melissa get through this loss, because we've lost so many animals, and it never really gets easier. I think what makes it not necessarily easier for me is that I try to be strong for her because she's not used to this kind of farm thing, And so one of the things that I said to her was, that's the thing about being on a farm and living this kind of homestead life, is all your feelings are amplified. You have the peace and quiet out here, and it's like nothing else that you've really felt. I've only lived in town one time, and it's no peace and quiet at all. I hated it. And the joy you feel is amplified, when you see your first seed sprout that you planted, it's just so cool. When you witness the birth of an animal, it's just like really hard to explain how you just burst with joy. But then on the flip side of that, you feel the exact opposite. The hurt and pain that you feel is like, it just completely knocks the wind out of you, and it's hard to get over that. And sometimes you don't, and it just sucks, and you ask yourself, why am I doing this? Is this even worth it to try to raise these animals and then lose them? And just, you put so much time and energy and heart into it, and then something like that happens, and it's not even about the money. We had that goat sold, and now I have to tell these people, I'm sorry, but I don't have your goat anymore. And we had him sold to a friend of Melissa's, and so his little girls were looking forward to having this baby goat, and they handled it really well. They were super cool about it. But it just sucks on so many levels. But the heartbreak is the biggest one, and I kind of had this saying in my head that I just kept kind of telling myself, is that I will not regret the pain that I have felt, for I chose to love. And like I told Melissa, we can have all these animals and just never get attached to them, and just know that, someday we're going to sell them, someday we'll butcher them, whatever the case may be. You could do that. But then, to me, you're kind of a psychopath. But then you wouldn't have to feel that pain. But you wouldn't feel the joy and the love of it either, And I could never even program myself to be that way. But, so why am I telling you guys this? I could have kept recording videos and never make mention of it, which I thought about doing. I really did. But I thought, that's dishonest. and it's not how I live my life, you know, and that's not how I decided to do this YouTube thing. Is, you know, I want to try to share the good, bad, and the ugly. And you know, a little piece of YouTube advice that I heard was that you know, being yourself, and, you know, show the failures, but don't share your open wounds, share your scars, you know. And this still has a scab on it, you know, it still really hurts. And you know, every time I walk down and do the dog chores, you know, it just sucks. Not seeing the baby goat just sucks. And but I want to share it. You know, I hope there's something that you guys can take out of this, and whatever that lesson is for you, I hope there's some lesson in this. I know there is for us. So I think that's all that I'm gonna record right now. And I got some other things that I want to share with you guys. There's been a lot of really good things have happened since then. Some more baby goats is one, so look forward to that. But that's all I've got today. So thank you for watching. Thank you for being a part of this channel. We're really growing, and I love it. And I love all the comments that I get. And I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.